pattern of non-separation. The story of the impersonal universe is taken from the perspectives of scientific discovery pushed to its edges. If the theory of the Big Bang holds true, then at one time all energy, matter, was compacted into a very small ball with infinite density and intense heat called a singularity. Within this singularity, a relatively uniform energy was in existence. No separation was experienced. Therefore, everything that comes from this has uniform non-separation as a primary trait, a connection to the all-pervading state of energy and pull towards all other things. Separation in any form is then a secondary characteristic. All particles, atoms, and matter come after the non-separation of singularity. With separation comes awareness, the ability to perceive something other than yourself. To have awareness, two conditions must be present: an experience of separation and the ability to interact. We say experience because true separation is not possible. We only experience it as such. It works much like waves do on a lake. A wave is both an observable thing in itself and part of the greater whole. The waves are experiencing separation while retaining the property of non-separation. The wave's properties become more defined as it interacts with other waves and the shore. If no interaction was possible, then the experience of separation would be lost. It is the presence of other waves that the waves express individuality. What is true at the smallest level is also true of ours. The only way we know of our own existence is through interaction with things outside ourselves. If this is the case, then we would expect to find this pattern of uniform connection as primary and separate selfhood as secondary within our experience. And so it is. When looking at the pattern of human life, we started enveloped in our mother. After birth, we are highly dependent and must have connection to caregivers or we will not thrive. We then grow in independence both physically and intellectually, growing through adulthood. In the aging process, we lose some of our physical independence, once again growing dependent on our community. At death, we return to our great mother, the earth. We see that non-separation is primary, while the experience of independence is a temporary state. When we look into our own inner experience, we can experience the non-separation of all things for ourselves. We have found many ways to do this through the wise use of psychedelics, sustained darkness, extreme physical ordeals, and meditation. In meditation, for instance, those who achieve high states of concentration experience a sense of non-separation to a greater and greater extent. From imaging studies of the brain, the experience of non-separation is correlated to a reduction in the default mode network. The default mode network is made of interacting brain regions that are active when a person is not focused on the outside world. It is what gives us the inherent sense of the separate inner self. As that network reduces activity, the person's sense of separation from everything diminishes. It seems that non-separation is our default or primary state of mind, while the brain is producing a secondary effect of individuality. As this is the case, then it is possible that the feelings of love and attachment are the manifestations of non-separation into our experience of separate being. Love, in its various forms, is our connection to the first primeval movement, the pull towards non-separation, a link to the source of all that we experience. Separation allows for experience in ways that we could not without it. We take this for granted, as it's how we experience the world. Being a secondary trait, we can view the separateness itself as a tool of development. At the core of every religious tradition is a worldview that we all came from a place of unity, experience separation, and then will return to that unity when we are ready. The way this pattern is told can vary greatly, yet its essential elements are there. In every story, the realm was made by a god or unified force. They all include the idea that the realm we live in has an end and thus an outcome that is made possible by our separation. Separation is not the end goal itself, as we will return to non-separation at some point. If what we had viewed through our telescopes had told us something different, then that would have been interesting and caused real conflict with science. What happened instead was that we looked into the sky and found the exact pattern the sages had observed and gave it yet another story. The Big Bang Theory begins with a singularity. The universe expands and contracts. Then in the most prominent theories, it ends with us returning to a singularity. As a whole, the most prominent traditions we have about the realm carry the pattern of non-separation to separation to non-separation. What then is the outcome or purpose of the manifest realm? What is the transcendental object at the end of time that we are being pulled towards? And why is human life its midpoint?